So you get the Gamecocks today of South Carolina. Later on, about 12:31, we'll have our coverage beginning live from Hoover, Alabama, with our guy Phil Elson beginning at 12. They got it done against Alabama yesterday, and they moved on. And I guess Alabama goes home, as does Ole Miss. Their season ends. Some teams will be left out of the NCAA tournament in the Southeastern Conference. Not a lot, but some. I know there are questions about Mike Bianco for back-to-back seasons after Ole Miss's national title. They have failed to make the NCAA tournament, or at least expecting to. We'll wait for that final decision to come out Sunday, but based on how things went, it's probably not going to happen. For South Carolina, later on today, they're still technically considered a bubble team, even though I think when we talk with Phil and we talk with Clay and others, they'll tell us they're pretty much in. It sounds like, getting that win yesterday, I don't know if 100% solidified, but it probably did. But that is your matchup today. It's also a What's Your Beef Wednesday, and I've got a beef as we get started early this morning.
All of our coverage of the SEC tournament is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole. Go to shoponrazorback.com. Hey, it doesn't get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. And by Kofer's Boat Center in Fort Smith. A huge selection of new boats can be seen online at Kofers.com, your trusted dealer for Malibu, Axis, Camus, Lowe, and much more. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971. All right, Kentucky and LSU, then Arkansas and South Carolina early today, the first two games. Tennessee, Vanderbilt, A&M, Mississippi State. I think all 8 of the teams that are still alive at the SEC tournament are probably in the field. Vanderbilt would be the one question, but I think Vanderbilt probably is in. As of yesterday, an RPI of 27. They advance through the single elimination game against Florida. I think if you're looking for the SEC teams that are in, I think it's the 8 that are playing today are locked.
They definitely helped their case, and yeah, I'd pretty much.
The top
agree.
4 were already,
yeah,
and probably locks for national seeds. I think we all agree.
Mississippi State wins 2-1 last night. You mentioned Vanderbilt's win. LSU dominated. This was kind of a surprising outcome yesterday. If you missed any of these scores, LSU dominates Georgia 9-1. I mentioned the Vanderbilt win. They beat Florida 6-3, and then that's what happened.
Yeah, I'd say Georgia is obviously a lock too. They're still in consideration by some, at least, the thought they could be a top 8 national seed. I think yesterday may have harpooned that, but I think there's 9 teams right now. I think LSU punched their ticket yesterday. I think that was a big win for them.
Yep, and they again get the first game this morning against the Kentucky Wildcats. The winner of that game will play the winner of your game later on today, and the loser will play the loser. That is your setup for the SEC tournament. As far as our beefs go, first, I do want to mention, I thought it was going to be a beef, as we had International Tea Day yesterday. I get a call from Zach Arns before their show. It's like, hey, thanks for hooking us up with Milo's tea. Apparently a Milo's rep stopped by and stashed them up with tea, and then he actually stashed us up with tea as well, so appreciate it. Tommy, as guys that are always watching our way, we went with the 0-calorie sweet tea. I don't know how it's 0-calorie because
they brought these for me. I was the one talking about 0-calorie sweet tea, and you're in there drinking my Yellow Label stuff.
It's good.
You stay on the sweet tea. You drink the stuff with the sugar. You got the metabolism that can afford to do that.
There's lemonade in there too, which I'm going to have to take in, but appreciate.
Well, that's got sugar in it too, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I wanted to try this. We
could make an Arnold Palmer here, right? Mm-hmm. Right here this morning. So
and they have a sweet tea and lemonade Arnold Palmer already made, so you can have that too. So that is a I thought it was going to be a beef that Zach and Derek reaped the reward, and DQ reaped the rewards from our show as they did. I mean, you think about it, the content of their show for the first 2 years was just about me, and they finally switched it up. But we both got it, so can't really have a beef on that. As far as beefs go, I was at a car dealership yesterday, and I watched one of these guys tell his employee, hey, make sure you get a lot of sauce with my fried rice. He comes back with only 2 packets of sauce. And he wasn't irate per se, but my thought, and you tell me, when I say a lot of sauce, and it varies by the condiment, I think that if I tell you get a lot of sauce, at least like 4 cups / rectangles of whatever that is for like fast food or something. But if it's like, I don't know, pizza, or if it's tacos or something, that's like 10 to 20 hot sauce packets or 10 to 20
10
red
to
pepper
20.
red pepper flakes. I like a lot. That's what I say a lot of sauce for. So
You're the reason they have these stickers at the window now that
cost money.
Extra sauces will be an upcharge.
60 cents or whatever it is. But
you're the reason
that was
20.
A beef.
You need 20 sauces
When it comes to certain food items, yes, 10 to 20.
Maybe ketchup I could.
And ketchup
maybe.
too. Hot sauce, ketchup, kind of in that line. In the rip open packets, not the square and stuff, but he didn't like go over the top or anything, but it was definitely a beef of his that he was only giving 2 sriracha sauces with this huge fried rice plate. And I'm not going to say that he condemned that said employee, but there was definitely
he didn't get a promotion.
Yeah, he did not get a promotion. So is that a fair beef for him? I thought it was. Because I told him, I was like, when you ask for a lot of sauce, you expect a lot of sauce.
Yeah.
Didn't get a lot of sauce. So just forewarning, if we ever go out to eat or we get something, and if I hear one of you two say I want a lot of sauce, then I'm gonna make sure I come back with an excessive amount, so it's not a beef.
We're on vacation on spring break, and we finally made it to Sedona. We'd been out on a pink Jeep tour for a sunset tour, and the kids were hungry, but nobody wanted to go out to eat. Hey, let's just go through Mickey D's and get something, and go back to the hotel and crash. All right, NCAA tournament's on, no big deal. So we pulled and you know how it is. You go through these fast food places, they want to, nickel and dime you on the ketchup packet. So, and the kids were insistent. It wasn't like we were going home when we had a ketchup bottle. We're going to the hotel room. And I pull up and I say, I need an extraordinary amount of ketchup. My kids thought that was the funniest thing ever. And I'm just there, and she gives me 5 or 6. I said, oh no, that's not going to work.
5 or 6.
That isn't going to work for 4 people. So, yeah, I hear you. Particularly with the ketchup, they get chintzy. They get really chintzy with that.
Yeah, it depends on which establishment you go to. And speaking of nickel and diming, I did see, and this was something that one of my friends, I don't necessarily pay attention to taxes and fees all the time, but I did get a text.
It'll drive you crazy.
I did get a text. I noticed when I booked our hotel for SEC Media Days, there is a Texas recovery fee. Any idea what a Texas recovery fee is? It was $30 between the 2 rooms. $30. And I don't know what that goes to. I know there was taxes, but I have no idea what a Texas recovery fee is.
Deposit.
Whatever.
No,
it's not. No, they're keeping it.
Listen, Ty's right. If you looked at your hotel bill in detail, it would drive you crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think we're taxing up, but for the residents of Fayetteville, evidently last night the city passed a stormwater management fee, which is now added to your water bill. Now, it's not an excessive amount, but it is still an amount. And, I mean, it's like
look at your
2, 3,
water
4,
bill in Fort Smith.
Yeah, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, depending on the square footage you have. But these fees, these taxes and stuff that just come out of nowhere, I don't understand them. I don't know if I ever will, but definitely a beef maybe potentially for Fayetteville residents from here on out.
Hey, if you're going to be out on the water this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, doing some fishing, take along the famous Yum Dinger, largemouth bass. Love it. 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes for the Yum Dinger made in their Arkansas plant. This is a great local company. Try out that 5-inch model with a wacky rigging. You can't beat it for spawning bass. Find the Yum Dinger made by Pradco at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LearnEd.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Yum Dinger.
Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
House here in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR Or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money. You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Hey, I'm Arkansas pitcher Hagen Smith. Unlock huge savings as a Pascal Plan protection member for just $8.99 a month. Enjoy annual AC tune-ups, priority scheduling, and discounts on repairs. Plus, these benefits extend to your plumbing and electrical needs, too. Sign up now and get up to $350 in instant savings on a water heater, electric panel, or new AC system. With their friendly budget payment plans, you'll never overpay for your home services. Don't wait. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service or to start your membership.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Dive into summer with the Doughboy Pool Super Sale at Burton Pools and Spas. Say goodbye to crowded public pools. With a Doughboy Pool, the fun comes to you. Don't miss the hottest deals of the year. Doughboy above-ground pools up to $1,500 off. 18-foot steel wall pools only $75 a month. And semi-in-ground pools under $200 a month, plus a free robotic cleaner. Hurry into our Fort Smith, Springdale, or Greenland showroom to pick out your new pool today. At Burton Pools and Spas, we do more than build swimming pools. We build long-term relationships.
Get 1.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on a GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Get 1.9% financing and $3,250 in purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle. See the new GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, Tim. I listen to you guys a lot. It's still the same good show it's always been. I appreciate it.
Here's the pitch. He struck him out looking with a slider on the outside corner. There is a new career strikeout king at the University of Arkansas, and it's Hagen Smith.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Hagen Smith. You heard him break the strikeout record from Phil's call in College Station this weekend. He is the attention. He is the main attraction for Arkansas baseball. And he's who I want to talk about. I also want to talk about this tournament in Hoover. You have a better perspective because you've been there and done radio shows. But I don't know if I'm a fan of this. Maybe you can convince me otherwise, but we'll talk about that coming up in just a sec.
Not sure how hard I'll try. Hey, we're brought to you by the Fence Man. We love the Fence Man. He's here every Friday. He does the picks, always have a lot of fun. But anytime I've needed anything involving a fence, a gate, or anything of that nature, he's always there. He built my mom's backyard fence when it needed to be redone about a year ago. I've got a friend of mine down the road that just got a new frame for his gate and his back fence done. Looks right. Perfect. Every time I've recommended the fence man to friend or family, he's never let us down. And it's a company we trust that for that very reason. When someone says fencing, who do you call? And hey, we've had a lot of you call the radio show. Hey, give me that number again for the fence man. Who's that guy that's in there talking about fence? It's the fence man, the company to call. 782-3936. Large commercial jobs, industrial jobs, they do those. Powered automatic gates, custom installations, or hey, I just need a fence around my backyard. They do that as well. 782-3936. The fence man. He ain't afraid of no work.
So Matt texted in to our last topic. We were talking about what's your beef and all these different fees and excessiveness that you see on your taxes, bills, whatever. He says the Texas recovery fee is to pay UT for their hurt feelings and recovery for the upcoming Horns downsides.
It'd be a lot more than that if that was true. 'Cause their feelings are hurt all the time.
Yes, that is true. They are the most sensitive.
$30 wouldn't begin to cover it, man.
The most sensitive college fan base and really university in the entire country. A guy that doesn't seem to be sensitive when it comes to a performance or something that goes awry is Hagen Smith. Let's take a step back to last year, right? Doesn't go according to plan of the Fayetteville Regional. First outing this season. It's cold. It's not pitcher conditions. Doesn't make it to the second inning. And then he just goes on a tear. Dave Van Horn has had this plan all off season and all season. So we're going to save this guy. Now, he got asked about this at the media desk yesterday in Hoover, Alabama at the Met. Here's what he said in regards to his star pitcher and Golden Spikes semifinalist.
Mostly that was the plan, and every time I go get the ball from him, he looks at me funny. If it's during an inning, which it usually isn't, or we bring him in the dugout. We've taken an inning from him almost every outing because we told him we're going to need those in May and June. Bottom line.
And I know the regional, I think, technically begins this next, but I don't anticipate him playing or pitching 7-8 innings starting this week.
No,
I think this starts, but we've had this and I say we've had this idea. We've watched him dominate in 6 innings average the majority of the season. He's the strikeout king. He's the SEC pitcher of the year. He's probably going to be a Golden Spikes Award finalist, not the winner, but the finalist. And now we have to almost rethink what postseason is going to consist of. Like Kevin Kopps and him had different roles, but I think for Hagen, what you're going to see is not only him pitch on Friday, but we've wondered about the bullpen a little bit. He's going to tell Dave's this is my last college outing. This is it for me. He's going to the majors. He's getting drafted in the first round. We're going to see this guy on Sunday if it's a do or die situation, even if he pitches on Friday. I absolutely think that. As long as it's not,
I won't go with that.
As long as it's not an excessive amount of pitch count on Friday. I think we'll see him in an inning or two on that Sunday or a closeout game or something.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar arm. Now, if you're telling me he's going to come in and get one guy or one batter, and he had a shorter outing on Friday in game 1 of your best of 3, I could see a very unusual or not a very unique situation that might play out. But the idea of him pulling a Kevin Kopps, I don't think so. I mean, this guy's got a multi-million-dollar arm. This guy's going to go top 10 in the draft, probably top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be one of the first pitchers taken. For him, I understand you want to win a national title. You want to extend your season. For him, it's not worth it. As much as I want the Arkansas Razorbacks to go to Omaha and take it all home, I mean, it's not worth it for him on an individual basis.
I think it's...
No, I don't see that playing out that way. I don't think that's what Dave meant. I think what Dave meant by his comments was instead of Hagen going 6 innings in a start in a regional or a super regional, he may go 8 now.
Okay, so you're just thinking that first game.
I'm thinking that first game could be longer, and that's where he helps the team is staying out of the bullpen. And I don't know if he'd pitch a complete game. We haven't.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something we've seen. when I hear Dave talk, I hear him talking about extending his start. If he's still got good velo and he's got command and it's not a day where it's sweltering and he's not getting dehydrated, maybe he, if he looks good after 6, you leave him in for 7. If he looks good after 7, you let him go 8, and then you let someone else close it out if there's any signs of labor. But now I don't see him getting the nod twice in a weekend. What I think he can do is maybe keep you out of your bullpen in one of 3 games or one, and put you that much closer to closing out a series.
And I think that's fair. We'll get some insight from Phil Elson, who's going to join us in about 40 minutes from now. He's live in Hoover, Alabama, thanks to the Stadium Shop on Razorback and Cofer's Boat Center. As far as that's kind of a look on not just this week, but really the upcoming weekends. And I say the upcoming weekends because I'm expecting Arkansas to at least make a super regional. You know what you say about assuming. We saw what happened with TCU last year. But what's going to happen?
Different sport, but what happened with Arkansas softball last week?
Yeah, that's a good point. Fayetteville Regional doesn't always go according to plan, but ask both Courtney Deifel and Dave Van Horn. But what is the plan this week in Hoover, Alabama? Not much from Dave here, but here's what he said about Smith.
He should pitch in the next couple of days. We're not sure yet on how we're going to use him, but he'll get out there.
Again, not a lot there. That's really all I got for you on the plan for Hagan. I know everyone's wanting to know. My thought is if you win today, you don't pitch him till Friday. That gives him at least a week, depending on if you pitch him off or not. I don't know if that's how Dave and Matt Hobbs are going to approach it. No, Ben Bybee's going to get the start tomorrow. But that's kind of what I foresee happening later on. Maybe you go Tiger tomorrow. But and again, it is dependent upon what happens later on about 1 o'clock against the Gamecocks.
Yep. And, then I think you can formulate a plan because once you get past today and you get past tomorrow, then you're out of the double elimination game. The finale of that is on Friday. So, win or lose if you lose on Friday, I guess, you move, but you're gone. And if you win on Friday, you move into single elimination. So you got to navigate this 2-day part. All right, more coming up here. We'll talk more about the SEC tournament, all of our coverage of the SEC tournament presented by the Stadium Shop in Fayetteville and by Cofer's Boat Center in Fort Smith.
All right, when we return, Richard Davenport's going to give us a little recruiting insight, what's going on with a couple football players. Excited to discuss with him, and basketball. It's kind of gone under the radar. We're also going to talk with Joe Tipton coming up at 7:20 this morning. If you want to get at us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, do so at 877-377-6963. We're rolling along here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday edition of The Morning Rush.
ESPN Arkansas and Phil Elson are live at the 2024 SEC Baseball Tournament. Our coverage is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, your Omaha's headquarters, the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole. Shop on Razorback.com. It doesn't get any more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Cofer's Boat Center. Cofer's huge selection of new boats can be seen on their website, Cofer's.com. That's COPHERS.com. Cofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BIKE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BIKE to 321-321. That's BIKE to 321-321.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Razorbacks have won it.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
We're going over to the Johnson's yard. You're gonna love it. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet over there.
Well, what about that yard over there?
Oh, we can't go in that yard. You see that yellow sign? That says Mosquito Joe. Where do you think I was born yesterday?
Actually, yeah, we both were.
Don't be a mosquito buffet this year. Call Mosquito Joe for a free quote at 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com. Outside is fun again.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running best of the best independent body shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Gray Brothers Equipment, it's Kubota Orange Days with 0 down, 0% financing available for 84 months on Kubota's popular L2502, L3302, and L3902 tractors. Get into Gray Brothers and make your best deal on a new Kubota tractor today. Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Bodo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours. Nice. Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
With a helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
Now through Monday, buy 1 gallon of Clark Kensington or Ace Royal paint and get 50% off at your local Yeager's Hardware. Sale includes interior and exterior paint, limit 2.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I think I side with Ty as much as anybody. I've listened to this program for years. First time I called in.
1-1 on Jason Jones. Swings it, drives it to deep left field. That one's up in the air and into the hog pen. Jones with his first SEC game base hit. It's a 2-run homer.
You want to watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, Even, Ruskin, and Zach? Find our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio.
Should be about 84 degrees at first pitch later on today when Arkansas takes on South Carolina. 12:30, 1 o'clock first pitch. We will have coverage beginning on most of these stations at 12 o'clock. Excited to see what happens later on today. Excited to talk to Richard Davenport in just a bit, and we're going to talk to Brendan Stuttgart on the McLarty Dana Hotline. Brendan Searcy, coming up in just a sec.
Hey, are you looking for a place to get your workout in, and maybe you're headed that way this morning, but you know you're going to have to wait on equipment? Maybe it's not the cleanest facility, but boy, you got a heck of a deal. Well, let me tell you where you can get a great deal on the monthly price, and you can afford the family membership if that is important to you. That's at the Hangouts, where Ty and I work out. Ty works out more than me, but hey, nonetheless, you can get into the to the Hangout in Fort Smith. It's the old Racket Club, Fort Smith Athletic Club, same spot there. New ownership, new management. You're going to like what they've got going on. A lot more than just the average gym. Big on pickleball. Big pickleball culture there. And indoor and outdoor courts. So on a day like today, it may rain. You can still have your game indoor. Indoor tennis as well, of course. They got basketball, so Ty can brick some threes and miss some layups right there in front of everybody. Plus, they got great big locker rooms. They're always clean, and I love the gym. We started talking about that. The sauna's good. Sweat it out. But man, that fitness center, huge. All the equipment is new. There's always someone walking around cleaning stuff, it seems like. And you ever had to wait on a treadmill there? They got like 15 of them. Bikes, stair mills, free weights, circuit training. They got it all. So stop in at 5400 Gary Street. See it for yourself. Or go to thehangoutfs.com for more information on individual and family memberships as well. Be a part of something different, something better that Fort Smith has needed. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Brent's and Searcy with us this morning on the McLarty Dana Hotline. Brent, what's going on, man?
Not much, Ty. Glad you made it back from all. You got to go to the Hangout and work out because you're going to all those weddings. You got to look buff in your suit, right?
That's why he needs that sauna to sweat out all the booze.
Yeah, it's a common.
That's probably more accurate.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
like
what,
a distillery in there when you get in there with Ty.
I'm concerned with who we're starting today at 12:30 or 1 o'clock.
Why is that?
With Ben Bybee. I mean, have y'all seen him lately? He's been getting hit like a...
Bybee came in and relieved. He came in at A&M, and he had two pretty good innings, and then it unraveled. But I don't think the plan with Bybee would be that, hey, this guy's going to get us 4 or 5. I think if he can get you through the rotation once, you're feeling like you're money ahead. But I don't think Bybee's like a 6-inning plan, Brent. And listen, I don't remember you calling him, but there's been plenty of calls this week. Hey, let's get down there and get out quick. Well, I mean, can't have it both ways. If that's the way you feel, Brent.
No, if you're there, you might as well win it. You know what I'm talking about?
But everybody, listen, if you're still there Sunday when they're crowning the champion, there's going to be people hot about that. That, hey, we've done given up our chance to go all the way.
This is I think the only tournament in the country that fans actually don't want to win. It cracks me up every time. Brent, I think
we all talk out both sides of our mouth when it comes to this event.
Brent, I think you're in the minority on this, to be perfectly honest. I think there are more fans that honestly hope, as Tommy, you just kind of referred to, lose. Now, you bring up Bybee. I do want to mention what Dave said yesterday about the starting pitcher later on before we get to Richard. Here's what he said about Ben and their decision to start him.
We're going to probably start Bybee. Coach Hobbs and I just decided to start him. I think that Brady hasn't thrown for a while. Ben threw the other day and threw the ball over the plate, threw pretty well. And you'll probably see Brady sometime this week. Hopefully we win some games and get into it a little bit and get to use them all.
So I don't know if that means you'll see Brady Tiger out of the pen. I don't know if that means you'll see him tomorrow. And you just heard your head baseball coach saying you're going to see him this week. I think people are wondering what his role, as I am, what his role is going to be before the actual postseason. Well, to me,
we may find out today.
Yeah.
We may all together find out in the early afternoon hours.
To me, I know this is a postseason tournament, but this still doesn't feel like a postseason. Atmosphere is not the right word, but intensity level. You play maybe better teams this week than you will next week.
No, I don't think there's any maybe about
it. It's not I'm trying to look for the word. It's not the same want to Maybe that's what I'm looking
sense
for.
of urgency might be the phrase that you could lean on.
And I don't feel on that. But
the season's not on the line.
Correct.
For Arkansas. Now, maybe some of these teams yesterday, maybe for an LSU, they felt like the season was on the line, or South Carolina. And, hey, that's a powerful emotion. Arkansas is playing a team today that feels like they have a lot more to play for than probably the Razorbacks as far as seeding and where they might go. South Carolina, I don't think it's it doesn't take a genius to figure out they got more to play for today than the Razorbacks. Vanderbilt may have been playing for their season yesterday. Florida probably eliminated themselves in that loss. So, this tournament means something different to everybody. And I think when you're one of those division champs and you're a top 3 or 4 team in the country, there's just not the sense of urgency at this event.
Something I want to address with Phil coming up, and again, he joins us live from Hoover in about 30 minutes from now. A couple texts real quick before we go to RD. JT in Laurel, Mississippi says he likes Barbie starting, that he may be needed in the postseason. Text in the 870, why would we start Bobby? He isn't good. So kind of on the fence there. Let's see. BG.
Why start Bobby? He's no good, but I don't want to be there past Friday.
Yeah.
Which
you can't have it both ways.
Bobby will be just fine for a few innings.
BJ and Rogers says if you don't want to win, just forfeit it, come home. Always.
Listen. He didn't say Bobby was pitching 9 innings. That's not what he said. Yeah. He's going to pitch first. We'll go from there.
All right, we'll come back to some of these texts on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, but for now, we go back to it, and we welcome in our friend Richard Davenport. Richard, big news concerning 2 moves within Arkansas high school football ranks. One legendary coach, one maybe quarterback, maybe the best quarterback in the state. You'd probably tell. I know there's that Robinson kid, but Grayson Wilson is pretty highly respected. I'll get your initial thoughts on Tommy Tice taking over for the Farmington job. How surprised were you, and what kind of success do you envision having him for the Cardinals program?
Yeah, well, obviously he's coming out of retirement, and I've seen Tommy here or there over the last few years, and he seemed to be enjoying retirement. But at the same time, obviously he probably got the itch and is like, I've played enough golf. I'm ready to get around some kids and teach them some football and just be around younger kids and you miss that, but at the same time it's still somewhat of a surprise. But no, he'll do fine. He'll do fine, and it's good to see him back. Somewhat surprising, but at the same time, I mean, I'm sure he obviously fought it through, and I would imagine he would coach another 2 or 3 years maybe and call it a day, but at the same time, I don't know.
And I don't know that this is the motivation. I think there's a lot more to it than just a record. But it should be pointed out he's 11. Mike Malham, I believe, owns the record for the most wins at 300. You can correct me if you know I'm wrong here. I think Tom Tice is 11 wins behind tying that number of wins for a career as a head coach in our state. So I'm not saying that's why he did it. I'm just saying that's one of the things out there I think he'd like to maybe accomplish while doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know that, Tommy, but I could definitely see that. Why not? I mean, human beings for the most part are goal oriented. In the first place, and I could see that. He probably had the itch to get back, and then he thought, it'd be kind of nice to maybe, win a few more games. Excuse me, and accomplish something like that.
Let's face it. I don't know. I hadn't talked to Coach personally myself, but we're all in a world right now where inflation's killing us all. So if you got a chance to double up, for a little while, get your retirement check and some head coaching money, then that's probably not a bad thing either in today's world.
No, it is. Oh man, isn't it crazy? Some of the things. I guess on Twitter, there's or Facebook or whatever, there's prices from 2019 at McDonald's and Taco Bell versus now, and it's just. And really, you go to the grocery store, and what you used to get, a decent amount of stuff for about $100, and now it's just a few items. It's sad. It really is.
Yeah. So That probably would motivate somebody. All right, so that'll be interesting. The Farmington Harrison game in October might have a little extra sauce on it this year. All right, Grayson Wilson. This is big news as well in high school football. Going from CAC, his coach left CAC, also went to Conway to join Buck James' staff. So that's part of the link. Conway already had a really good left-handed quarterback. Kind of lay out the landscape for us and what's going to happen with the Wampus Cats and one of the best players in our state in Wilson.
Well, and one of the best players in the country. I mean, he's a dual threat quarterback, and Duke is an outstanding basketball player, outstanding baseball player. You talk to the people in Arkansas, and they're stoked about Grayson Wilson. But I think it really all stems back to Coach Howard, and it's no disrespect to Coach Plumlee, but his relationship with Coach Howard was just outstanding, and his respect for Coach Howard. And when he left, that hurt, the situation at CAC. And I think to have a chance to be reunited with Coach Howard is huge. I mean, if you talk to Grayson, and I said it, earlier, I mean, his respect and also Coach Howard's knowledge of the game really helped Grayson this past year, and kind of helped him, get ready for college type atmosphere at Arkansas. So, I think that played a huge role in him deciding to go to Conway.
Richard, I'm assuming that Howard is his OC, and Plumlee's the head coach. Am I making that right?
Yeah, okay. Coach Plumlee at CAC.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought I had that right. No, you're good. You mentioned not just football, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they win a state championship in basketball and made it to the state title game in baseball? You don't see three-sport athletes as much as you used to back in the day. Could we see a resurgence in this, or is this are these going to be few and far between?
On the service, I'll say few and far between, just because I think so many kids and so many parents have it stuck in their mind that specializing in one sport gives them the best chance to succeed. I think it's unfortunate, but I think that's kind of ingrained into the culture nowadays. But maybe if you have more Grayson Wilsons out there that are highly successful and go on and then be successful in college, maybe there'll be a few more multi-sport athletes. But I really don't like where we are as far as the culture, as far as the one sport specializing and just focusing on that all the time. And I just tend to think that in just about every sport, these kids, especially when they just focus on one sport, there's burnout, possible injuries from using the same muscles all the time instead of other sports where you're using different muscles. I think that increases your chances for injuries.
Heck, even Arch Manning played basketball his senior year. He's pretty good at it, too. So I would like to see it more. Matt Jones always talks about that, Richard, but I tend to agree with you. It's going to be more few and far between. Now, football-wise, we're talking about high school football, and Grayson's a class of 2025 kid. You got another commitment from Kamari Williams, Florida kid, also class of 2025 for this class, and you also got former Army signee Zachary Taylor, who's going to be with you this fall. What can you tell us about those two wide receivers, one that will help you this upcoming season, hopefully, and another guy that Bobby Petrino and that staff seems to like for the future?
Yeah. Excuse me. First, Zachary Taylor, who you just mentioned, was going to go to the Army, but now obviously will be going to Arkansas. And matter of fact, he'll be reporting to Fayetteville. He just finished his official visit yesterday. Will be reporting to Fayetteville on Friday. But 6'4", about 170 pounds, extremely athletic. Ran a 10.44 electronic time in the 100 meters, 21.3 in the 200 meters. Ran a 10.25 split in the 4x100. He played quarterback for Yoakum, Texas, this past season. Before that, he was at a smaller school. He wanted more, visibility for college coaches at Yoakum. And he's not a quarterback. Obviously, he's going to play receiver in Arkansas, but he played quarterback, and I think that obviously hurt him as far as the coaches being able to see him play other positions. I talked to Coach Bo Robinson, whose son signed and played a couple of seasons for Coach Chad Morris yesterday, and he was saying that he could even play DB. He believes so. Outstanding athlete will be a guy I tend to think, because he's 6'4", about 170, a little thin and needs a little bit more development. I tend to think he'll redshirt, but I mean, good gosh, 10.44 in the 100 meters with that size. You got to take a chance on that young man. But and then Kamari Williams, a highly recruited kid, around 30 offers. The offer list is Michigan. Good gosh, I mean, Auburn. You name just about any major school, and he had an offer from them. About 6'2", 6'3", about 185. Playmaking receiver who, best of my knowledge, hasn't visited Arkansas yet, but I'm pretty sure he will next month for an official. But great get. I mean, you look at his offer list, and it's awfully impressive.
Richard Davenport with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Before you go, I want to shift gears. We're going to talk later in the show more in depth about this Jaden Rashada story. He's suing Florida, committed there, left, went to Arizona State, back in the portal. He's now with Georgia, but alleging that he was promised $13 million over 4 years. He's suing Billy Napier, the collective at Florida. I guess my question to you is this the first of others to come? As you talk to parents and you have those connections and relationships, are you hearing about promises not kept? What do you think? Is this the first of many, or do you think this is an isolated case with this story that broke yesterday with Jaden Rashada in Florida?
That's a good question, and a little tidbit. He made an official visit to Arkansas a couple of years ago. I remember talking to him afterwards. But that's a good question, Tommy. I don't know all the ins and outs of this, just from the standpoint of, I mean, obviously you got to have some documentation. Evidently there was some documentation, and I don't know all, when you're doing something that supposedly is illegal, as far as from the NCAA standpoint. But at the same time, if you have documentation, and if that's good enough, as far as Florida law and things of that nature, I guess that he has a right to do what he's doing. I don't know, but I definitely have heard, no, not necessarily from parents, but other people that, there have been some promises made to kids at other places, and they didn't necessarily pan out. Now, do you have documentation? Do you have signed contracts? I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we're in an area that we never thought we'd ever see. And to see something like that, but that seems like, and I understand he was a highly recruited kid, but that amount of money seems to be off the charts high. But at the same time, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Went from $9 million to $11 million to $13 million, and now it's not going to get close.
And his dad was promised $1 million on the side. It's a wild story. All right, Richard, thanks for your time this morning. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. See you later.
Richard Davenport with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. We're brought to you by the Hickey and Hull Law Partners, 4 locations in our state: Mena, Little Rock, Fort Smith, and Northwest Arkansas. So wherever you're listening this morning, if you feel backed into a corner with a legal challenge, there's someone to help you fight from your corner and fight for you. And that's Brad Hull and Kevin Hickey and their team with over 7 decades of combined experience, whether it's family law and you're going through a divorce and there's a custody battle and you're worried about making sure things are right moving forward with that settlement, they can help you there. If someone has sued you and you need to respond, that's where Brad and Kevin can step in with their team and aggressively represent you. Someone's wronged you. Someone's ran into your car and injured you or your family. This is where the Hickey and Hole Law Partners
Righteous beef,
can
Tommy.
be your advocate. 479-434-2414 is their number. Again, Mena, Little Rock, Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas. There's offices right probably in your own backyard, right nearby. 479-434-2414 or go to kevinhickeylaw.com.
Now, I don't know every little tentacle involving this Jaden Rashada story, but from what I've read, if this was actually true, he's in the right here, isn't he? If he was promised these things by the booster.
In basic principle, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
if someone makes you, oral contracts are binding in many cases. So, but again, if you had, what'd you say? This is a fish story that's went from 9 to 10 to
Miami.
11.
Here's what happened. Miami initially offered him, and again, I say here's what happened. Here's what reportedly happened. Miami eventually offered him 9.1, I think it was. He was committed. Then Florida upped the offer to 11, and then I think it was upped again.
$9.1 million.
Think about that. Now, Andy Mountain Home says the absolute greed of these athletes has completely ruined college sports for me. It's sickening. I'm going to be honest, Andy. If I was offered that amount of money, that's not greed. That's taking advantage. That's not.
Do you want to take advantage of people?
If you are considered
using your
value to be worth that much, I don't think that's greed. If I am estimated to be worth $10 million and I ask you, I'm not, but if I ask you as a radio host, this is what my contract needs to be, then I don't think that's greedy at all. I don't think he was worth that. Let me preface that by saying he was not worth that amount of money. I don't even think he was like a full-fledged 5-star, but
number 31 prospect. I've dove into your contract and I don't see $10 million there. I'm sorry.
Probably smart. That didn't take a lot, did it?
No. I didn't have to dove in very deep to figure that out.
No, it's a pretty quick roll. Now, Jamie May's beef is the different college baseball rankings in RPI. Makes no sense at all. That is a fair beef.
That's fair. There's too many polls.
There's like 6 polls plus RPI plus other. I mean, it's annoying. I completely understand where you're coming from, Jamie. Won't be beefing when we talk.
I lean on RPI more than polls.
Yeah.
But
Won't be beefing when Phil Elson joins us live from Hoover coming up in just a sec. We'll get his thoughts on some of the things Dave had to say yesterday and the upcoming matchup with the Gamecocks.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our number one volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the number one soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fitzman and ask about 18 months same-as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, that's the $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush.
Get ready for the Old Fort Days Rodeo at Jelco Outdoors. With a qualifying boot purchase, receive a voucher for a free Old Fort Days Rodeo ticket and an Old Fort Days Rodeo ball cap. Boots by Ariat, Justin, Tony Lama, Durango, R. Watson, and Twisted X. Purchase $75 of jeans by Ariat and Wrangler and receive a free ticket voucher. Get ready to rodeo at Jelco Outdoors. Check out the Old Fort Days Rodeo official merchandise only from your friends at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Ace in the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
Now through Monday, buy 1 gallon of Clark Kensington or Ace Royal paint and get 50% off at your local Yeager's Hardware. Sale includes interior and exterior paint, limit 2.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Come on over to Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer and a Cinnabogan authorized service provider. From excavators with the best-in-class breakout force to powerful skid steers, we'll be sure to find the right equipment for you. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Another round of strong to severe storms today. We could see baseball-sized hail, 60 to 80 mile per hour winds, and the chance of a few isolated tornadoes. So our chance of showers and thunderstorms will intensify today, mid-70s north, low 80s south. Showers and storms will be in place again tonight, overnight lows, low to mid-60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 99 days.
We were talking about him at breakfast this morning. There's a lot of good memories here. You know, Ben and Tindy hitting one off the scoreboard after midnight, and Bobby Wernitz's filing off about 10 pitches and hitting a go-ahead home run, and us sprinting Zach Jackson to the bullpen so he could close the bottom of the ninth. And we were down 3 runs to Florida, an elimination game, and it didn't get started till late. It's probably 1 a.m, and a lot of people missed a really cool game, honestly.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And there's a lot of good memories here. Ben and Tindy hitting one off the scoreboard after midnight, and Bobby Wernitz's filing off about 10 pitches and hitting a go-ahead home run, and us sprinting Zach Jackson to the bullpen so he could close the bottom of the ninth. And, we were down 3 runs to Florida, an elimination game, and it didn't get started till late. It's probably 1 a.m, and a lot of people missed a really cool game, honestly. That was one of my good memories.
Well, I'll tell you who didn't miss that game. It was Phil Elson, who now joins us live from Hoover, Alabama, thanks to our friends at the Stadium Shop on Razorback and Kofer's Boat Center. Phil, I did not make it up to that game that night till 1:30 a.m. in the morning, but I went back and watched it. Man, it was fun.
And the first pitch from Bobby Pointer is hit high in the air to deep right field. Andrew Benintendi has homered to lead off the 9th inning. A bomb into the scoreboard. Wow. 6-5 down by a run. Swing the drive into left field. Way back it goes. You got to get out of here. Bobby Wernitz's with a go-ahead home run. Oh, my goodness. A bomb over the left field fence. They've scored 3 times in the 9th. And on Bobby Wernitz's 5th of the season, the Hawks take a 7-6 lead.
Phil, Zach Jackson ended up closing it out. I think Dave was talking about running him over the bullpen or whatever to get that win, and you concluded that broadcast, I guess, a little after 2 in the morning.
That was a late night, Ty. That was a late night after a late night. It was like a later night after a late night because they played the day before. 2015, what you just played, that's the last time that Arkansas played in the single elimination round in Hoover. Isn't that amazing? They didn't make it in 2016, but ever since 2017, they've had a bye to the round that we're playing in today. And in 2015, they went 10 innings Tuesday to beat Tennessee, kind of almost like Mississippi State beat Ole Miss last night. I think the score was 2-1 as well.
Right, was.
Yeah, and then the next day, heck, I don't remember the game that was in front of us, but like this week we have great weather. That week we did not have great weather.
Yeah,
it was one of those like typical Hoover weeks, and we started late. I think I did, and I was doing that game solo because Rick Schaefer was my partner then, and he didn't go to Hoover, so I did like an hour and a half pregame, maybe 2 hours.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then led into that game in which we didn't. I mean, it was just craziness. I remember trying to, sitting. I think I was at the Steak and Shake down the street here in Hoover with Eric Bolin and with David Bell, who was the SID. Of course, Eric's still covering Razorback athletics, and I didn't get to bed till like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, but you
didn't have a radio show to host the next day, so I could sleep in a little bit. It was kind of fun.
But you only spent $5 on dinner, so I mean, you did okay at Steak and Shake. So
right, those were 2015 Steak and Shake prices too, right?
Exactly.
The good old ones. Phil,
those little thin fries that are so good.
Yeah, the good old shoestring. Phil, I don't know if we can expect an epic game like we had back in 2015 against Florida. You do know your opponent though, South Carolina. They win 10-5 yesterday against Alabama. They're not a bubble team. Like we were talking about this before you came on. This is a team that would, again, like to continue on. I think they lost 6 straight prior to yesterday. What do you think about this matchup with Ben Bybee getting the start about 1 o'clock?
Well, I mean, I'm not really surprised that Bybee's the starter. I thought it would be him or it would be Brady Tygart. I thought maybe Tygart because then you can control the situation that he's coming into, which is, a dry start, nothing. and take it from there. But I still don't know if he's going to pitch today or not. Dave was a little just kind of secretive with his pitching plans, and that's understandable. There's reason to do that, but I'm happy Ben's getting this chance. Carolina didn't see Ben Bybee. Ben didn't really pitch against SEC teams very much, which makes this a little bit unique because by the end of the season, if you face the team, they've faced your starters, but not in this case.
Yeah.
So Arkansas's in a position where, Carolina, I think they felt like they needed yesterday's game, not for any other reason than to ensure that they didn't go into the postseason with a 7-game losing streak. They're not hosting. Anything they do against Arkansas, won't help them host. But that is a team that kind of had a hot start. And sometimes if you got a 6-game losing streak, you stop it all of a sudden, you can get going. And I'm sure they'd like to do that.
We've had a few texts and calls on the McLarty Daniel hotline with, let's just say, concern about Ben Bybee starting, and he may be your first pitcher out, but the plan's not for him to go 9 innings or 7 innings. I mean, if he gets you through the rotation, maybe if he sees 12 batters today, I think that's a successful outing. So for those that are wondering why Tiger isn't starting the game and Bybee is, I mean, I don't see this going probably less than 3 arms today, I would guess.
Yeah, maybe in the best possible case.
Yeah.
In the best case, you get 4 to 5 from Ben Bybee. I think they'll let him go. He's gone 5 to 6 innings this year. That didn't happen against an SEC team, but it doesn't mean he can't pull it off. I like Ben as a pitcher. He throws hard. He's a big kid. Mostly throws strikes. He's got to stay out of the middle of the strike zone, which is a problem for him because he has been hittable, but he's also a guy that's kind of fallen into some bad luck here and there, which means to me you get to finish batters off. I think Ben's allowed his share of little dribbler infield hits and, balls hit in the exact right place. But sometimes that means, in 2 strikes, you're having trouble finishing guys off. I hope he can do that. With Brady, if he does pitch today, I'm just interested to see if he's able to get his fastball over for strikes, because if he can, then you got Brady Tigert back. It kind of starts with that. I know everybody thinks about his breaking pitches, but if you can't throw a fastball for strikes, there's not much that you really can do. So, and they got a hit. Carolina's thrown Eli Jones today. He had been the Friday pitcher for South Carolina, and he was moved to Saturdays recently, and really hadn't been doing all that well. In fact, I think they made that change when Arkansas was in Carolina. They kind of pitched off a little bit for that first game, and they moved Jones away from Hagen Smith, and I don't know if that got in his head or not, but he hadn't necessarily been the same pitcher since.
Well, now that's an interesting comment right there, because I think when you get the nod for a start in a key moment, or you don't, it does affect your confidence that you feel from your head coach, from those making that decision. So, I mean, with Bybee, this has got to be a good dose of confidence to get the ball first at the SEC tournament.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. And again, I don't think it's a surprise. I think this would have been the plan all along, that if you're in a position, look, they don't need to do anything here, except I think play 3 games is important. I don't think you want to go 2 and out. And part of that is just playing baseball is good for baseball players. We act sometimes like coming to Hoover is a bad thing, because these games don't really matter very much. But what are you going to do the week before you're playing in a national tournament? I mean, I think playing baseball is a good thing to do. It's not football necessarily. So,
but here's another thing, Phil. You lost 2 or 3 at A&M. You go 2-2 in barbecue in Hoover. You've lost 4 or 5 heading into the region. That's not. I mean, I know those things are separated by a week in the calendar, and then you go into the regional with another week, but you still don't want that kind of you don't want that collar around your neck that you've lost 4 of your last 5 going into a regional.
Yeah, you don't want to make it a habit. That's the thing that to me is a defining characteristic of this team, is that they've developed habits that win them baseball games. They're a habitual winning team. They haven't had a losing streak longer than 2 games. And so, a lot of times that goes on display even in a tournament like this. That's such a high level. So yeah, I mean, I think part of this is just keeping your habits up, which is a little difficult to do because this tournament is such a standalone thing. It's not regular season. It's not at anybody's home ballpark. It's not postseason. It's high-level baseball. So, yeah, I mean, that to me is what this week is about. Don't lose 2 in a row, and keep your habits up.
Phil Elson with us live in Hoover, thanks to the Stadium Shop on Razorback and Cofer's Boat Center. Phil, did you grab one of those Matt Hobbs shirts that the pitchers were wearing yesterday? Did you get one of those?
No, I didn't get a Matt Hobbs shirt. What is it? An MH shirt?
Yeah.
These are supposed to be easier to roll off the tongue.
You would think so.
BMFP rolls off the mouth and tongue a little easier than MF. I can't even do it.
Yeah.
And I love Matt, and he's awesome. So I do want one of those shirts, and I'd like him to sign it. But they might need to come up with a different anagram.
Yeah, maybe so. I'll stay on the subject of pitching. Me and Tommy were kicking this around, and I wanted your take on this. Dave was on the SEC Network broadcast yesterday talking about, like, we limited Hagen to the majority, 6 innings for the most part. I think he went 7 innings, 1 game. But now it's postseason. I don't necessarily expect him to go 7 or 8 innings in Hoover, but what kind of expanded role could we potentially see with Hagen starting next week? Is he just going to go longer for 1 game, or could you see him 2 games in a regional or super regional?
No, I don't think you'd see him 2 games in a regional, unless it's maybe, for some reason, and it would depend on what day he starts. If he starts on a Saturday, then he's not going to pitch again. If he starts on a Friday, if you needed him on Monday to throw to a couple of batters, I'm sure he could do it. I don't think that's the role that we're talking about here because they already have a good bullpen, and the cautiousness that they're taking with him because of his prospect status, I think supersedes that.
Mm-hmm.
But what he can do is throw 120, 125 pitches in a game. And he hasn't come close to that yet, and he can do it. Like, that's what that's the message he's delivering.
Yeah.
We've been taking him out. Everybody's like, why is he only throwing 6 innings? Why is he only throwing 6 innings? He can throw 7. Yeah, you're damn right he can throw 7, but he doesn't need to in a lot of these games because the pen has been so good. And independent of that, if the plan has been to save some of these, quote unquote bullets in the chamber for May and June, well, now it's May and June.
Right.
10 extra pitches, 15 extra pitches, 20 extra pitches to some pitchers, I think makes a big difference. To Hagen Smith 2 years ago, that would have made a big difference. Now we're talking about a world-class athlete right now. He's turned he's a big kid. He's strong. He can throw 125, and there's not going to be much difference or any difference between Hagen Smith in the 8th inning or Hagen Smith in the 6th inning. That's what he's talking about. The expanded role is to pitch more innings.
Yeah, and if things went to plan and you got past a 4-1 matchup with someone else and he kept you out of the bullpen, I'm not going to say complete game, but 7 or 8 innings, you've got a much fresher bullpen for the 3rd game of a regional, and I think that's and think about that from a super regional standpoint for games 2 and 3 when you're trying to close out and punch a ticket to Omaha. That's exactly what I believe the plan is hey, if this guy could, we're going to be willing to go into the 8th or maybe later if needed with Hagen Smith.
I guarantee you that there's nothing about Hagen Smith right now that he's going to get hurt by throwing 125 pitches next week. He's not going to happen this week. Next week, and then doing it again the next week, and then doing it again the next week, for as long as he's a Razorback now. I don't think that's going to hurt him. Part of the other aspect of this is that this could be the end of the season for Hagen Smith. I don't just mean in terms of college, but I mean in terms of whoever drafts him is probably not going to be in a position to contend. So they don't need to rush him. They also don't need to just okay, go out and pitch in the minor leagues, kid. I think they'll handle him with kid gloves, when he gets drafted. And then by this time next year, I don't see why he's not pitching in the major leagues.
All right, last question. All the 8 teams that are still around today, are they all safely in the tournament? I guess Vanderbilt might be the one question. Is all 8 teams that are still alive safely in the field of 64?
Yeah, I think so. I really do. There's.
I mean, we know A&M, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Arkansas,
you got
Kentucky
your
are in.
You got your 4 seeds.
LSU would be the other question mark.
Yesterday, there might have been like elimination thought between, not elimination thought. If Ole Miss would have pulled off that win yesterday, Mississippi State was still in. Ole Miss still needed to win 2 or 3 or maybe even the entire tournament. So, no, I do think everybody's in.
I look at the RPIs of where LSU's at going into yesterday at 30, Vanderbilt at 27. I mean, I know that's not the end-all, be-all, but those are really, of the 8 teams left, the 2 that you might have some wonder or worry about getting in. But I think this is going to be 9 or 10 teams. I think these 8, Georgia for sure is in. Florida, I think, put themselves maybe outside the field yesterday with that loss to Vanderbilt.
And I was talking with their radio announcer, Jeff Cardozo, yesterday morning, and he, in his conversations with a lot of folks who, like the prognosticators who really do have a sense of how the committee makes their decisions, he felt really safe that no matter what happened, they would be in because they would still have a winning record. You have to have a winning record to be considered, and they have the number 1 strength of schedule and, their RPI is in a good place. And I kept thinking to myself, it's like, well, it's nice to have the number 1 strength of schedule, but aren't you supposed to win a lot of those games? And but they are a game over. It would probably be the worst record ever to make the tournament. But
28-27. Yeah.
One of the things that'll be interesting too, Tommy, is to see how many SEC teams. So there's a chance you get 5 national seeds. Like, look how many 3 seeds there could be: Carolina, Alabama, LSU. And Florida, if they get a bid, and Vanderbilt very well could all be 3 seeds.
10's the most ever, right, Phil? I think I read that somewhere that the SEC's gotten in.
I think you're right.
Okay,
I think you're right. But because there was like 13 wins in the SEC, is supposed to be some kind of a magic number that gets you into the tournament. And I think historically it's been really close to that. Now, some of this also has to do with what else happens in the rest of college baseball. Like, we only care about the SEC, right? But, what if ECU almost lost yesterday to Rice? That could have been a bid stealer right there. Rice somehow, or ECU not winning their conference. A stolen bid could be Florida's bid.
Phil, we'll leave it there. Enjoy all the ice cream and sodas you can drink in Hoover, Alabama. We got some Milo sweet tea, so I think we're doing okay back here in Arkansas, and look forward to hearing your call later on today.
Sun-kissed and vanilla ice cream, Ty. It's the morning's best friend, which reminds me I got to get over to the ballpark and have my first dreamsicle soda of the day.
And apparently strawberry ice cream and Sprite is also something I need to partake in, according to our guy.
It's fun
Phil.
to have science experiments with soda and ice cream, Ty, and other things too, but that's for another day.
Why kids go up there and get a suicide? Just get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Thanks, Phil.
Take care.
All right, Phil Elson with us live from Hoover at the SEC Tournament. All of our coverage of the SEC Tournament presented by the Stadium Shop in Fayetteville, online at shoponrazorback.com. It doesn't get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. And by Kofer's Boat Center. They've been providing family fun since 1971. Go to Kofer's.com. Great place to watch the games today would be TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. It is Wednesday, so this is your day, Ty. $12 Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta. That's the deal of the day at TGI Fridays, plus happy hour from 3 to 6 with half-price drinks and $5 appetizers. They'll roll it around again from 9 to close. So that Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta, good all day, $12 for that big heaping bowl of that. And happy hour 3 to 6 and 9 to close at TGI Fridays, 540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Going to shift gears from Hoover, Alabama to not too far by Huntsville, Alabama, where Joe Tipton lives. He covers not just college basketball, but high school recruiting. I know that we haven't got a lot of info lately on this Arkansas basketball team and John Calipari's whereabouts. This guy knows his stuff, and we're going to talk to him next on The Morning Rush.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Say goodbye! Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Get 1.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on a GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Get 1.9% financing and $3,250 in purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle. See the new GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, no win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money. You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So college graduations have happened, not just here in Arkansas, but all over the country. You've had high school graduations. Some have happened. Some are about to happen. Kids are out of school in certain pockets of the state. Others have to wait. Think back when you were a kid, the good old days, right? Like Sandlot to me is like the perfect summer mood. Not in necessarily grow up playing baseball all the time. Occasionally, we went to this field, my brother and my dad and I. He was still active with us as a single father, just as kids when we were growing up, and then we started having the ability to do other stuff on our own. But your favorite summer activity as a kid? For me, it was the neighborhood swimming pool. It was always the neighborhood swimming pool. It was 3 houses down from our house. You walked the back sidewalk, and it was right there. It wasn't our own pool, but it basically was from 9 a.m. in the morning till, I think, 8 o'clock at night. That's where Night Swim ran. You would find me there. Now, I'd have to coat up with extra sunscreen. Tommy, you work with me. I'm pretty fair skin for the most part. I don't tan, so I'd have to put on like 3 or 4 layers of sunscreen. But for me, the best part of summer as a kid was the neighborhood pool.
We would, I grew up at the bottom of Fianna Hills in Fort Smith, and we would walk out the back door whenever we woke up in the mornings, put your swim trunks in your golf bag. You'd play your way in. You'd play all day till you're ready to go swim. You'd swim, and then you'd play your way home. So that was kind of what summers looked like for me from about, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old till I got a job. So those were probably the 4 or 5 most formative years of my childhood. Early childhood, we lived at the end of a cul-de-sac, big circle, so we'd have epic wiffle ball games and riding bikes and getting in the mud and playing with matches and all the things you're not supposed to do. So
we played basketball. That was we played wiffle ball occasionally, did roller hockey, and we did various games, football, goal line stand, stuff like that. But pickup basketball was always something I flocked to as a kid growing up. That was always my favorite.
Well, you think as long as you've been playing, you'd be better at it. I mean, that's what I don't get.
You'd think the same about golf, too, but you'd be wrong. That is for sure. And that is your Morning Rush Daily Question presented by our friends at Red River Dodge in Heber Springs.
Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
I don't know if this guy's a good basketball player, but I know he's good at what he does when it comes to college basketball and high school basketball discussions. We welcome in Joe Tipton of On3 Tipton Edits. Have you ever seen any of his stuff? Any graphics, any good graphic that you've seen involving a high school or college basketball player? It's probably Joe. Joe, we appreciate you jumping in with us. We'll start with the summer question. What was your favorite maybe summer activity when you were a kid growing up?
I'm going to have to lean with you, actually, pick up basketball. I was not very good. Truth be told, but I love to compete and I love to play, and that was kind of the go-to thing for me.
It's a lot of fun, man. Still to this day, just hoping I don't tear anything or break any bones. Joe, it's been kind of quiet the last week or so on the John Calipari front here in Fayetteville, and I know there was just an assumption, and maybe it was wrong of me to just assume that DJ Wagner was a lock. I don't know if he's necessarily that. You've got good insight. Is there still a strong possibility that DJ Wagner winds up in Arkansas Razorback?
Yeah, that one has become an interesting one. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't write it off that he's not coming, but I definitely couldn't tell you that he is still going to be a Razorback. I think a lot of it with DJ is when he was a high school recruit, he wasn't really heavily recruited just because of his ties to Kentucky and in Louisville. And I think this portal process, most programs thought much of the same. They thought that he would follow Cal to Arkansas, or that he would, keep his recruitment fairly simple. And USC got in the mix. Coach Musselman, they got him on a visit. Florida was poking around for a while as well. I'm not really sure where things stand there now, but kind of what I've been told from people around him is that DJ never truly got recruited at a high level. Despite being a 5-star recruit, it was really just 2 schools, like I said, Kentucky and Louisville, that were deeply in the mix for him. And now I think he truly wants to go through the recruiting process and take 3 or 4 visits. But the good news for Arkansas fans is there's such a familiarity with Coach Cal and that staff that I think at the end of the day, that's where he will end up choosing, just because of his relationship with him. But yeah, this one's been an interesting one.
On the subject of potential players to wind up in Arkansas, I have seen like Toppin, the New Mexico kid. I've seen I've seen like just guesses, and I don't know if there's any truth in it or not. Is there another player, either a college player that's currently in the portal, or maybe an overseas guys that our listeners should pay attention to about the possibility of him choosing to play under Coach Cal?
With Toppin, that one's an interesting one. I know there is interest there. I don't know how much interest there is, to be quite honest with you. And then with Coleman Hawkins, I know his full intentions are to stay in the NBA draft. However, Coach Cal has done well being able to get those high-end caliber players like a John L. Davis. So I think if I'm Coleman Hawkins, I'm definitely listening to a call. One guy that I would keep in mind is a high school guy. His name is Will Riley. He's currently in the 2025 class. On3 has him ranked as a 5-star recruit, a top 10 player in the class. He will most likely be reclassifying to 2024, and he has Arkansas on his list. So that would be one that I would watch. He's also got Alabama, Arizona, Kentucky that he's considering as well.
Joe Tipton with us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. All right, you create all these really cool graphics for all these kids when they make their social media intent or their intentions known on social media. How did you become the go-to person to make it look great and stand out on social media? How did all of that get started?
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and a lot of it was no one was doing it before. So I was kind of the first guy to start making the graphics years and years ago. I think the first class that I remember covering was either 2016 or 2017. So Donovan Mitchell, Michael Porter Jr., guys like that. And I remember previously, I always tell this story, when a player announced their, let's just say their top 5 schools, their final 5 schools on their social media. I remember Donovan Mitchell, he typed in the notes of his phone his top 5 programs and then just screenshotted it and posted it to Twitter. And it was as simple as that. There was no edit. There was no graphic. So I kind of saw a need for that. And I was on the younger side. I started doing this when I was in high school. And now I'm, working with the high school athletes and now the transfer portal guys as well. So they kind of related to me, and we were able to build a relationship with some of those players. And now there's just a sense of trust. And players before, from years ago, have seen them, they've kind of grown up watching, my page and watching players before them. So now I'm kind of the person that they work with, and I love what I do.
So
awesome.
Is there a story or a time where, hey, you've made a graphic and they're going to announce for one school and you've had to go back and change it, or a time where you've had to make 2 different graphics and you didn't know? I mean, you've got the scoop inside before anybody else knows what their intentions are. Is there an interesting story about, maybe the way it's unfolded and a backstory to that you could relate?
Oh, yeah, sure. That happens all the time. There's a few times, like I remember Carter Knox. He was a big-time high school player, McDonald's All-American. He was choosing between Kentucky and Duke, and no one really knew where he was going. There was crystal balls in for Duke, and he ended up picking Kentucky, and he shocked a lot of people just because everybody looks at the crystal balls and know where these guys are going. And I knew that it was going to be Kentucky because he asked me to change one thing on the graphic that he did not ask me to change on the Duke one. So it's kind of like that kind of was the realization point for me. But with the transfer portal, there's guys changing their minds left and right. I mean, I've had probably 6 or 7 players shoot me a text or give me a call and say, hey, I'm going here. And then 2 days later, they've completely changed their mind and they're going somewhere else. So it doesn't really happen with high school players. The recruiting process is so much simpler, so much slower. But with the portal, I mean, it's just madness, and scholarship spots fill up, and it's much more difficult for players to kind of stick to one spot, especially with NIL as well.
We're talking with recruiting expert Joe Tipton with On3 Sports here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Joe, you mentioned the process. I wonder if you could give us some insight on the process that maybe Cal had at Kentucky the last 15 years and how similar and maybe a difference or two that you're seeing in Fayetteville the first month or so?
Yeah, his process, I mean, he's always attacked the high school guys. I think that's where he is, that he is the most comfortable recruiting those high-end 5-star recruits. And I think he's always been less worried about, not necessarily how good of a team we can put together, but he wants to allow players to reach their dreams. And that's all these players coming up, is that's to reach the NBA. And a lot of Kentucky fans' demise, they didn't necessarily appreciate that, as that's not much of a secret. They wanted to go to the Final Fours, and that's where their expectations in Lexington. And Cal just, especially in the last few years, he just didn't really fit that mold for them. But I think he will go after some transfer portal guys. I know he did this year. Obviously, you can't build a roster based strictly off of high school. And I think he will continue to pluck guys from the portal. But it'll be interesting to see kind of how he adjusts and if he does lean on older guys, or if he just continues to recruit high school at a high level.
Joe, last thing before we let you go, appreciate you joining us. You mentioned your relationship with Carter Knox. Carter, again, committed to Kentucky, got out of that, and now signed with the University of Arkansas and Cal. What are recruits like Carter telling you about John Calipari now? What is their feedback to you about Cal?
Yeah, their feedback is, hey, look, we didn't pick the first go-around. We didn't pick Kentucky because we wanted to be a Kentucky Wildcat. We picked Kentucky because we wanted to play for John Calipari. And it's the same story now. So often fan bases think that players are signing up because they want to be in Lexington, they want to be in Fayetteville, and that's part of it. But the reason that they sign up at the end of the day is because they're signing up to playing for a Hall of Fame coach in John Calipari, and that is why they choose the program.
Joe, we'll leave it there, man. We appreciate you jumping in with us this morning, kind of give us an update on what's going on with Cal and Fayetteville in this basketball program, and look forward to catching up later on down the road when there's more recruiting news.
Absolutely. Happy to join anytime. Appreciate you guys.
That is Joe Tipton on 3 recruits. And you
know how hard that would be to know, not like you said, players change their mind, so you don't, and you don't think, but to keep your mouth shut when you know where these guys are going because you created the graphic. I mean, you got the scoop.
I did a trusting the process episode with him. He's a Huntsville guy, lives there, and his backstory is really, really cool. So we got some good stuff from him this morning. And some of you may not like his comments about choosing more Cal than Fayetteville, but that helps you in some ways, and I think it's going to help you as you continue on with this recruiting class.
All right, Clay Henry's going to be in a little bit early. He's got to exit a little early, so he'll join us in the next segment. Your Hog Update is on the way. We are brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. One of the reasons I love Gaston's, love to take my kids to Gaston's, my friends, business associates, teammates here at work, is the expert guides. Yeah, you're going to have a comfortable cabin that has a great view of the river. You're going to have the fireplace when you want to get a fire going at night. But the thing that really separates Gaston's, they have topwater boats, so you're always comfortable inside one of their boats on the river. And their guides are top-notch. They fish the river every day. They know what's working. They know what to change to if something's not working. And they take care of every aspect of your fishing trip. So don't let the fishing aspect be the reason you don't go. They got guides to take care of all of that. 870-431-5202 to book your dream trip to Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time, every time.
ESPN Arkansas and Phil Elson are live at the 2024 SEC Baseball Tournament. Our coverage is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, your Omaha's headquarters, the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice spec.
Work this morning. Clay Henry's with us about 15 minutes early, so you get a chance to hear with him from a Hog Update. Clay, what's going on, man? How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm
Good.
doing fine.
All right, let's get into it. Some of the news from yesterday, Dave Van Horn talking about a couple of things, including the upcoming matchup against South Carolina.
We won a couple of games there, some tight games. We only know what we know. They're solid. You know, they maybe struggled a little bit the last couple of weeks, but they're very talented. They have some really good arms. It's hard to say who they would throw against us, but at this time of the year, you just kind of play and go from there.
So you made a good point earlier, Tommy, about your 2 or 3 seed doesn't really change anything, right? Like for South Carolina, there's
in a regional.
Yeah, in a
Okay.
regional.
Yeah.
They don't have any incentive necessarily just to absolutely win the conference tournament because they're not going to get a 1 seed.
You may get in a more favorable regional
and
have a perceived easier road against the 1 seed.
And that's where I was going to go potentially from that, not necessarily seed line. And Clay, I don't know how coaches look at maybe the not necessarily intent, but like how much goes into this game today. But there was some intensity when Arkansas played in Columbia earlier this season. They took 2 or 3, including a doubleheader game. So I'm expecting a really competitive game later on today.
Yeah, it's back to the point you guys started off with. It may, the seating may not change, but where you're sent might, and it might be that it's more convenient for your fans. And what you don't want is, if you're South Carolina, you don't want to be sent to Oregon. And that's LSU has gone out there a couple of times, and that's just not the trip you want for your fans, because there's not very many of them going to go. So what if they're sent to Clemson? What if they're sent to North Carolina? Well, that's problematic for those teams because South Carolina is going to travel. I mean, it's going to be, a 30-minute trip, 45 minutes, an hour. I mean, it's for a lot of those fans, and that's what you're hoping for. So that's why. But I think this tournament isn't about seeding. It's about finding out, do we have one more pitcher that we can rely on next week? And Ben Bobby, he's trying out, and would he be capable of pitching in an elimination game if that's somehow that's where you end up? It's like, or you get in the killer in postseason if you get into a 15-inning game, and that happens. It's you get second or third game in, and then it goes into extra innings, and then you have to have a deep bullpen and somebody that maybe you didn't think you were going to pitch, but now you got to. And it's a little bit like what you had on Saturday at Texas A&M. We're going to throw these guys and find out a little bit. Dylan Carter or somebody else, and
Dossett.
We got to need them at some point.
Yeah, and you lost 2 of 3 at A&M. You don't want to go 0-2 at Hoover. That means you've lost 4 or 5. Now that's not paramount, and that's not maybe the most concerning thing. But Clay, I don't think you want to enter the postseason losing 4 of your last 5. I just think winning this game today is important to eliminate that possibility.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I've seen that work the other way, where you get sent home and you're pissed off, and or it gives you 2 more days rest. So there's all kinds of scenarios that we don't even think, that would be my normal assumption, is that a few wins would help you going forward, that's momentum. Not so much that they're wins, it's that you played better to win games. And if you're playing better and somehow you find your rhythm, that the pitching can balance out in Hoover because of the number of games that you play, and everybody else is out of pitching too. So what I would really like to see for this team, the pitching in a short series, I'm not worried about Arkansas. I want to see those bats come alive. And if you play a few games more than just the two, do you get some rhythm back for Kendall Diggs? I just have a hard time thinking that they're going to go a long ways if Kendall Diggs doesn't get going.
Yeah, he's 0 for 7, I think, of 2 walks last weekend, and this is a guy.
Not just last weekend. It's just looking back at the last 2 months.
Yeah, I don't know. He was a little disappointed not getting the start in the first game, but did get a little playing time the next 2 games. Clay, you kind of alluded to something there, like just kind of the conference tournament outlook. Dave had a couple points during his presser yesterday, and I kind of want to bridge off what you said.
You look at their face, you watch the way they're throwing the ball, the way they're swinging the bat. How hot is it? You know, is it 93 and 90% humidity, and after 3 innings, a pitcher's shot, you know, and you're kind of going, wow, it's going to take 5 days to recover from this now, so we need to get him out of there. And those are the things you got to look for. And so it's different every tournament or even every game with what you see. So you don't want to stress guys out to try to win a tournament. If it happens for you and things go your way, man, then try to win it. But you don't want to recycle guys that pitch them 2 and 3 times on a weekend, even if they're relievers, and then they got 5 days to recover before you open up next weekend. It gets a little difficult.
It's just a balance. It's a feel. I think it's different each year. And I would guess that is how Dave is going to approach this starting today against South Carolina and then later on this week. All right, last thing here in your Hog Update. Y'all, we are 99 days out from Arkansas football.
Ryan Mallett back in the game. Ball spotted on the 1-yard line. Roderick Green. Across the 50. Still on his feet. This is it's a record here in Fayetteville.
I was in 2009. Special brownie points if you can remember that opponent.
Yeah,
North Texas?
I think it was Eastern Michigan.
Well, you think.
It's Eastern Michigan,
Well,
right?
you asked the question. What do you mean you think?
I think it's Eastern.
It was.
It was, okay. I just sometimes I
remember green on their uniform. Aren't they green and white too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You heard obviously the call of the late Ryan Mallett, but that was a memory. I believe I was at that game, and that was I think Arkansas
Clay was.
Smashed him that game. But yeah, Clay, 99 days out. We're under 100 days. I know. Again, we're at the SEC tournament in Hoover. Phil's there. We've got college basketball to talk about. We just had a conversation with Joe Tipton, and yet football has kind of been put on the back burner, but it's going to be here before you know it, man.
Yeah, it's we're in the time where there's official visits coming for football. Things are kind of shaping up in recruiting. You got your roster now. I mean, you don't anymore. You don't finish spring with your roster because there are moves afterwards. Guys are leaving. There's some more scholarships open. Putting a little more depth together. Another offensive lineman, another defensive lineman, another defensive back, another wide receiver. You've made your evaluations, and if there's anything that you want, you go get it right now, and they did.
And that's your Hog Update, and it's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, third hour on the way as we'll dive into more with Clay here and talk about Arkansas down at Hoover and get into some Arkansas football as well and his latest column at hitthatline.com. We're brought to you by Farm Credit. If you're looking to spruce up your existing home or build your dream home, you can trust the experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas to help you choose the correct financing options that fit you and your family best. Visit myaglender.com or drop by any of their 25 locations across Arkansas. That's Farm Credit at myaglender.com, myaglender.com.
Company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with the Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This is the Morning Rush.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime?
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha's tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479-STADIUM.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hawks.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, I'm Arkansas pitcher Hagen Smith. Unlock huge savings as a Pascal Plan Protection member for just $8.99 a month. Enjoy annual AC tune-ups, priority scheduling, and discounts on repairs. Plus, these benefits extend to your plumbing and electrical needs, too. Sign up now and get up to $350 in instant savings on a water heater, electric panel, or new AC system. With their friendly budget payment plans, you'll never overpay for your home services. Don't wait. Visit GoPascal.com today to schedule your service or to start your membership.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Another round of strong to severe storms today. We could see baseball-sized hail, 60 to 80 mile per hour winds, and the chance of a few isolated tornadoes. So our chance of showers and thunderstorms will intensify today, mid-70s north, low 80 south. Showers and storms will be in place again tonight. Overnight lows, low to mid-60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve.
The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 99 days.
We were talking about him at breakfast this morning. There's a lot of good memories here. You know, Ben and Tindy hitting one off the scoreboard after midnight, and Bobby Wernitz's fouling off about 10 pitches and hitting a go-ahead home run, and us sprinting Zach Jackson to the bullpen so he could close the bottom of the ninth. And, you know, we were down 3 runs to Florida, an elimination game, and it didn't get started till late. It's probably 1 in the morning, and a lot of people missed a really cool game, honestly.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
You just heard Dave Van Horn there talking about the fond memories they've had in Hoover, Alabama. 2015, probably the most prevalent that you can remember. That Florida game that we talked with Phil Elson about was awesome. Don't know if you're going to have the same caliber of game later on today against South Carolina, but I am looking forward to this game, as we all are here on the Morning Rush, including Clay Henry, who's been with us for about 15 minutes. He's with us the next 45 or so. I want to get his thoughts on some of the things Dave said yesterday. Austin Reeves just kind of playing basketball to try and qualify for the Corn Ferry, and then also a couple Texas stories I'm going to let him tee off with in just a sec.
All right, we're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. I am confident you'll love the experience at Wheels. Lee J and Chris and their team are there. Lee J and Chris are the owners. They are there every day. And when you go through the process from the time you drive on the lot to the time you leave in your new RV, they're involved. And I think that's one of the things that gives me comfort in telling you about these guys every morning, because it's their business, and they've built a great business around ensuring a great experience every time. Even when you come back for winterization at the end of the season, or to get going at the beginning of the season, or any need in between, they are always there for you with award-winning parts and service and even body shop repair for your RV. And every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty when you buy at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Clay, should we boycott Delta? And I ask you that because they are doing a direct flight, it's not typical, but from Austin to XNA coming up on the November 16th weekend when Texas is in town. It's leaving a little before 5 on Friday and returning a little around lunchtime on Sunday. I'm not usually a boycott guy, but in this situation, I think we might have to. Do we boycott Delta because of this flight?
Well, that's where I've got my frequent flyer miles. So I'm not going to do that because I really like, I think I got about 140,000 miles. So
wow,
I'm not going to boycott them. And as long as they have that return flight so they get the hell out of here.
There it is.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Well, if they do that,
but they got to have some help somehow. Just think about all those rusted out Suburbans that they can't drive anymore.
Well, we don't want those oil stains in our parking lots if they drive up here.
Yeah. That is. I would just think that if there was no flights,
there won't
maybe
be that many of them.
Yeah.
That's how many will come. 240. Like on that plane, that one plane. So it's just a drop in the bucket. And, it's...
It'd be a real shame if that plane was delayed late into the night, wouldn't it, Clay?
McDonald's and Burger King got to have some people eat. That's... I guess they'll probably go to Whataburger. That's their That's their
the Texas thing.
burger of choice. Yeah.
If football,
I get it, Ty, and it's a relevant point. Anytime you want to talk about, I wish they didn't come, it would be anybody to do with the University of Texas.
Come on, we'll take your money.
But it's okay. They're going to see a beat down. I mean, it's going to be ugly. I mean, it's just like the last time they came up here. What was that score? 41-20 or something like that?
Yeah, 41-20, I think it was, or 42-21. It was and it should have been bigger than that, to be honest. Arkansas was on their side of the field the entire night. So if it does make it here, maybe it's delayed. Maybe I go siphon the gas out of the tank or whatever before they take off.
If the Hogs can show consistent signs of improvement in their program, then there'll be flights from Fayetteville to places like Austin and Knoxville and Gainesville, and because people will want to go. There'll be demand for it. And if you're better, people will want to come here to see their team play in Fayetteville. So I hope this continues because the team's really good.
And I saw X&A seen an 11% increase, I think, already in flights leaving this year. So we're seeing more stuff coming out. You've got Auburn.
They just make it affordable. It'd be more than that.
Yeah, and come on, Southwest. Come home. Come hither. I saw Auburn, Starkville, Dallas, and Columbia. I don't have any appetite to go to Columbia. I actually enjoy Starkville, and Auburn's one, I think, the most underrated SEC cities. Really enjoy it. But, I mean, if an airline wanted to take advantage, I would think there's probably something set up in place out of X&A to be able to do that for these upcoming road football games that you have. Other thing, Clay, involving Texas, and I think you'll enjoy this. So they tore down, finally, the Frank Irwin Center where they used to play basketball. The official, final beam came down, I think, on Sunday. This is a place they played since 77. Has Arkansas had more success there? I mean, you think about U.S. Reed. You think about the wins in the NCAA tournament in both 1990.
Isn't that where Nolan went strolling?
Nolan went strolling. I mean, I think it's reasonable to conclude, Clay, that Arkansas basketball had more success in the Frank Irwin Center than even Texas did.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and really look at the record, but I know Arkansas lost some games down there. There was a period where Tom Penders had pretty good teams, and it seemed like Arkansas hammered them in the tournament more than that. But yeah, there's good memories in that place. The U.S. Reed shot, I was really entertaining in that he came over to the press row, which back in those days they just put it right down the sideline. That's where the media was.
Mm-hmm.
He just all at once he's standing right in front of me and reached out and shook my hand like he was a proud papa. It's like the players are out there jumping around, and he somehow snuck out of that melee and came to press row. I think he was looking for my dad, who was a couple of seats up, and he found him, shook his hand, and of course, U.S. is a great person, just an absolute dream of a guy, and there's nobody that had more fun with that shot.
Yeah, that was an epic conclusion. They replaced it apparently with a medical school. Would you guys trust any doctor with a UT medical degree? Would you to operate on you? I don't know if I would.
If I was stranded on an island and that's the only guy there, it's like I'm going to die or he's going to help me, I'll let him help me.
Okay.
But otherwise, I would search for a second opinion.
Yeah, apparently that's what they knocked it down for. And they replaced their basketball arena with the Moody Center, a.k.a. Uterus Center. It literally, if you look at the locker rooms, what they come out, that's what it looks like. And how the Texas board did not see that with the architecture and the designs prior to it actually being built is beyond me. Maybe they wanted it to look like that, but that's what they've replaced it with.
There's a chance that, and this is the way things work in Texas, if it was a construction project, there's a really good chance that it was an Aggie that did it.
Ah, that makes sense. Well, that's the conclusion on that. So
mechanical engineers, yeah.
Yeah. Clay, speaking of architecture, I know they're they're putting in renovations for the Hoover Met, and I want to say I read it was like $17 million that they're investing in this thing, and I wanted your perspective and Tommy's perspective because, quite honestly, I've never been. But I look at this venue, and it's a nice ballpark, right? But the city and the prestige that you get in Nashville, Tennessee, and Bridgestone, at the SEC basketball tournament, and then also in Atlanta, Georgia, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which I've been to both those complexes in both those cities. It just doesn't feel. Now, we had talked earlier, Tommy, there is an conference option to continue on this in 2025.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee that this stays in Hoover. Now, I'm not advocating it to move to Austin, but I think like Dallas, you have Dallas now as a giant metroplex within your area. I'm not the biggest Dallas fan in the world.
But you can get on a plane from anywhere in America and get to Dallas pretty much nonstop.
Guys, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it just makes sense if you can work it out. I don't even think it has to be in Globe Life.
That's too big.
Yeah, I legitimately think you could put it in one of the nicer minor league parks. Even the Nashville Sounds have an incredible ballpark. I don't think you do both tournaments in Nashville.
Is there a minor league park in Dallas, though?
You got Frisco.
Okay.
I just think that you utilize Dallas now like you're doing for media days. Am I wrong on this? Do you go away from Hoover after next year, maybe give them one more year, and then you move on, even though they've invested in that ballpark?
Here's what I think the approach will be if this gets entertained. And, Clay, you tell me why I'm wrong on this. They've used Atlanta as home base and never moved the football game out of Atlanta past that first year 30 years ago. They've used Nashville now as the home base for basketball. It was Atlanta. But they'll venture out to Tampa, St. Louis, New Orleans every now and then.
Tampa would be a great option.
Well, so, there's a lot of storms this time of year, that part of Florida.
That's fair.
I think Hoover can be home base. I think it's and I don't know why they, and I understand why they use this stadium. They've got a very nice minor league ballpark in Birmingham. Clay, could you use Birmingham or Hoover as your home base, but venture out, every third year to another part of the footprint in the conference? I think, Little Rock could host one at Dickey Stevens. I've always thought Memphis should be the spot for the conference baseball tournament, but this league in Memphis can't ever seem to get on the same page with each other. But I like the idea of Hoover, then every third year go somewhere else in the footprint.
Well, they really like Hoover, and the town has embraced them. And without question, there's something to the fact that it's 20 miles from the conference headquarters.
You got it.
And if you're going to spend a week there, it just their people don't have to spend any administrative dollars to attend the tournament. I mean, they don't need hotels. They don't need rental cars. They don't, that's so, the 20 to 30, and let's face it, they don't want to lose money there. And they've been accommodated by the folks in Hoover, and they're not going to spend $17 million and then bid it out. It's, there's a wink, wink. We're going to be there. And this is interesting to me. You don't want to go somewhere and give a team or teams home field advantage like Arkansas, LSU, Texas. Auburn and Alabama have been non-entities for most of the last 30 years. So you don't have to worry about, a takeover of Hoover of those two schools, because they don't care about baseball. They've proven that by, just by, their performances. I'm not saying that they don't every once in a while get 2 or 3 good pitchers and 2 or 3 good hitters and make a little bit of a postseason run. But they're not gonna be or make it uncomfortable for the rest of the SEC to go play there.
And one thing Chuck has made a point on several times, this conversation comes up annually around this time. They like the Hoover setup because you go to the Galleria, the mall there where SEC Media Days was forever. You got the hotel connected to the mall. You can confine's not the right word, but you can put 18 to 22-year-old kids in that environment, and there's a good chance there's not going to be any problems. And there haven't been. And I think that's also important is when you think about the setup, it's not just the ballpark and the fan experience, it's the player experience, how you're going to feed them, how you're going to house them, what are they going to do, because there's a lot of downtime in baseball. And Hoover's got a nice setup for that.
Justin texted in on the McLarty Daniel hotline. I have been to Oklahoma City and Bricktown before, but I've not been to that ballpark. I mean, is that a possibility in Oklahoma City? Is that big?
Well, there's lots of good options. I mean, you can sit here and come up, when you're talking
25
about
of them.
The South, all across from Texas, Oklahoma to Atlanta to, Florida. There's reasons to do it. There's reasons not. I mean, if they're going to move it, I went and hung out at Globe Life for 3 days. There's not a better place. You don't have to worry about the weather. It would be a great place. The only problem with going to a major league park is that their season's underway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you that
have
could be,
to get them to block off, a week. They don't like to do that.
Yeah. But that can be worked out. That's what you want to do. I don't think a 25 or 30,000 seat stadium is the right venue. I think it's about 11 or 12 there at Hoover, somewhere around that number.
And it looks more filled.
College.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
you don't need any more than that.
You don't need more than that, because if your event does not look big time on TV when it's half, and you may have a record crowd.
The rental,
but it can be half full.
Life
yeah,
is going to be a pretty penny.
Yeah,
they have the deal they want in Hoover. It would have to be that town backs away. They're not going to do that. It's, Tommy, you said it. We have this discussion every year. And we'll keep having it, but it's a little bit of waste of breath.
25 straight years in Hoover. Apparently, I was reading it was a $13 to $15 million economic impact. So, Clay, that, like you said, they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep this thing in.
Hoover doesn't want to lose it. As long as Hoover wants it, that's where it's going to
20,
be.
Right. I think I misspoke earlier. I said 17. I think it was $23 million. A bunch of things that they've sunk into the expansion and the renovation of this ballpark.
I would love to see it in Memphis for our fans. That'd be great. I think that's a great central location in the footprint of the conference. But can you see housing all those student athletes in downtown Memphis? That trouble would happen. I mean, it's inevitable.
My dad even going there.
That's not a great idea.
I've been to Memphis. I grew up going to Memphis, 2 hours from Little Rock, soccer tournament.
They got a great ballpark right there downtown.
I mean, it's.
Tommy, the one thing that I will say about baseball players, all these guys have been a part of travel teams for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get in trouble. I mean, they're
there's just
by
places,
and large, they're pretty good kids, and they've been trained on how to act.
There's places trouble will find you.
Yeah,
Bill Street, Bourbon Street, 6th Street. Yeah, there's just some places trouble can find you.
It's always trouble on 6th Street.
I mean, Memphis to me is good for one night only. After I've had my barbecue, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
I don't even want to spend the night.
Well, the tournament takes place, of course, in Hoover. Started yesterday. We've got some results. So Mississippi State wins in walk-off fashion last night. LSU beats the tar out of Georgia, surprisingly, 9-1. You have, who's the other game? Vanderbilt beats Florida. And then South Carolina, again, we mentioned your opponent. It was a close game at first, and then kind of things changed with this grand slam.
He got a pitch to hit deep to right. Is it enough? Grand slam. Dalton Reeves, South Carolina's out in front.
So again, Gamecocks are your opponent. We'll have coverage on most of these radio stations beginning at 12 o'clock. Ben Bybee gets the start later on today. Here's what Dave Van Horn had to say about that decision.
We're going to probably start Bybee. Coach Hobbs and I just decided to start him. I think that Brady hasn't thrown for a while. Ben threw the other day and threw the ball over the plate, threw pretty well, and you'll probably see Brady sometime this week. Hopefully we win some games and get into it a little bit and get to use them all.
Clay, you mentioned and it was maybe it was Phil, but the tryout aspect. I think it was you that I hadn't thought about necessarily, that Ben is in a situation kind of like some guys were last weekend, where this is a chance for maybe you to earn some extra innings or extra trust. It's not just about maybe getting thrown in there, but if you're put in a situation or if you give up a hit or two, it's earning that trust to get out of it. And I think it's a great opportunity for him to earn more of that from his pitching coach and head coach later on at 1.
Yeah, just think of it in this term. These, the next 2 days, those are midweek games. It's just like the regular season,
Great
a
point.
midweek game. You want your top-end guys or their time to fall Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's when your main pitchers are going to get their innings because you keep them on the right rest. So two things for Ben Bobby. Maybe he steps up and he's got this big park. The wind blows in. He can gut fastballs, and those outfielders just track them down. They're going to be in front of the warning track, and this is a little bit like Omaha in the size of the park. It was even bigger, and they brought the fences in just a hair. But this is also a tryout for next year because you're going to lose. This isn't any fun to think about, but those three hosses that have been the bulk of your starts all season, Hagen Smith, Brady Taggart, Mason Molina, they're all going to be drafted. They're all juniors, and they're gone. There's no chance that those guys are coming back. So Ben Bobby is kind of a starter for the future. Gabe Woods, starter for the future. Parker Coyle, starter for the future. Now, I would suspect that there's going to be a couple of mid-major, high-end guys that that transfer in that affect that. They're going to be in the start. But this is a chance for Ben Bobby to show that he can be a starter against an SEC opponent. So that's partly what this is about.
All of our coverage of the SEC tournament presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. Go to shoponrazorback.com, and by Kofer's Boat Center in Fort Smith. They're creating fun on the water and have been doing it since 1971. Go to Kofer's.com. Clay was talking about that Memphis barbecue a little while ago. It got me to think about Art's Barbecue on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. They have that Memphis-style sauce, and they put the rub in the shakers on the table. You can have pulled pork, sliced chicken. They smoke ham and turkey every day. Of course, briskets, which create the great burn-ins that they have every day. The half chicken's more than you can eat. It's a great lunch and dinner combo. You can get that or their ribs, baby back and spare ribs. They got combo plates, a 3-meat platter, which is enough to feed 2 or 1 hungry tie. Or if you're going for the first time and you got your crew with you, try the Artilio. It's got everything they do on it. Ribs, chicken, pulled pork, sausage, brisket, and 4 sides that you and your crew can try. Art's Barbecue, next to Buddy's on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas and Phil Elson are live at the 2024 SEC.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
Garage Door today at 844 PDS Door, or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
With over $30,000 in cash and prizes, don't miss the 34th Annual Judge Greg Ray Memorial Tri-Lakes Big Bass Festival, sponsored by the Sevier County Chamber of Commerce, Saturday, May 25th, Memorial Day weekend. Head to Gillum, DeQueen, or Dirks Lake and set your sights and your hook on the special $10,000 Reel the Weight prize on each lake if your winning numbers match up. Go online, SevierCountyChamberOfCommerce.org for an entry form. This ad paid for with state and regional funds.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood, specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years' experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
The Links at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback Baseball and enjoy everyday food and drink specials like $2 domestic beer or $3 premiums. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing, next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
But they even one Razorback. One.
Smith ahead still 0-2 on Daly. Here's the pitch. He struck him out looking with a breaking ball. Hagen Smith has struck out the side 3 times today.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
You remember those old BMFP shirts? You see how easy that rolls off the tongue? We were talking with Phil about this earlier, who's live in Huber. Apparently the pitchers made these Matt MMFH shirts. It just doesn't roll off the tongue as quick. Now, I personally would like a CFH shirt, Clay Fisherman Henry shirt with Clay on it and a picture of him fishing or with the rod and reel.
Waste of material.
Yeah.
Well, not for me, at least in my opinion. I don't know if I'll ever get what I want, but I think that would be fun. Clay, I want to share with you real quick. We got this Austin Reeves story. We'll talk about what happened in Knoxville earlier this week coming up.
All right, we're brought to you by Brett and Monica Good. They're with Collier and Associates in Northwest Arkansas. And if you're looking for a second home, a lake home, a home in Bella Vista, or you're looking for your new dream home and forever home, this is where the team between Monica and Brett, they've been married for 10 years, and they know what moving's like. They know what transactions are like. They've moved 5 times in 10 years. And Brett, when he was playing professionally with Green Bay as their long snapper, he moved basically every year in the offseason. I think it was 7 times, he told me, in 10 years, 7 or 8 times in 10 years. So my point being, they understand what goes into a move. They understand what you may be looking for because they've looked a lot themselves. They're, experts in this area. Monica's from Fayetteville and really understands deeply the Washington and Benton County market. They've got a lot of listings near Beaver Lake. They've got a lot of listings in the Bella Vista area and all over Washington and Benton County. Brett's a Fort Smith guy, so he understands very well the Fort Smith market and the surrounding Crawford and Sebastian County area. So if you've got a home that you'd like to list or find out what it's worth, and if it's time to list or you're looking to move to that area, Brett can help you with that. 479-651-2292 is the number. 479-651-2292 for Brett and Monica Good. Collier and Associates, the real estate experts in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
While he's not an Arkansas Razorback, Austin Reeves is an Arkansan and had a career year for the Los Angeles Lakers. Played at Wichita State and Oklahoma in his college days, and apparently he's quite a golfer. He was in the Knoxville Open Korn Ferry Tour qualifier on Monday. Shot a 76. Apparently he hadn't played competitively in high school. Just called his buddy and was like, hey, I want to go play golf. And they figured this out. Here's what Austin had to say about his performance this past Monday.
I was actually bored, and I looked at my best friend and was like, find me an event to go play. And this one popped up, and, we just jumped in the truck and, headed down here. Basketball, I don't really get nervous. Everything's, preparation for that's different. I actually go practice. I don't really practice golf, but I was nervous. I will say that. I was on the first tee shaking a little bit. Didn't hit a good ball, but other than that, it was a lot of fun to just play some competitive golf. I just love golf. I love everything about it. The competitive side, the mental side is, biggest part of all of it.
What would you give to have not played for a number of months, maybe a year, and it's just to go out and shoot a 76?
Well, that'd be great,
67.
but the problem is, as Clay will attest to, you go out and you have a great first round, so you can't wait to get to the course the next day, and then you post an 85. And that's the insanity golf creates is, you shoot 76 one day, 92 the next, and it's maddening. That's the problem with golf. That's golf in a nutshell.
It's beef. It's a typical beef of mine. It's just my golf game on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. It's pretty much an every week occurrence.
It's called paralysis by analysis. Your mind will defeat you, not your golf game, not the course. It's I've done it. I've been so excited about a really good round, and you get in the middle of the next one in a tournament, and it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
I can, and then once you lose it, you don't usually get it back until you can get to the range or get to the putting green. But first of all, this is an incredible athlete. His skills, and I've played with top end athletes like a Matt Jones, that their ability to adjust with their hands and manipulate the club face and don't even know what they're doing or why they're doing it, and they hit shots. Kevin McReynolds was not a golfer. He picked it up and immediately was close to scratch and hit drives that you literally would go out of sight. They would be towering and come down 330 yards dead straight on the sprinkler head in the middle of the fairway. And it's like, that's not fair. He's been given gifts that we don't have.
Mine go out of sight. They're just
Austin Reeves has those gifts.
Yours do go out of sight. Usually they don't float. They usually don't float. It's the problem with your golf.
I think my frustration playing with Ty is that he hits shots and then starts work back to the cart. And I said, where did it go? Well, out there, I'm not going to help you look for something that you didn't follow in there.
That's fair. That's completely fair and warranted.
Yeah. Hey, we're brought to you by Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms. They provide every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, and now even same-day crown service. So need a crown, you need it done quick. Riley Farm Dental can do that for you. 479-226-3500 is their number. Get your appointment now. That's 479-226-3500 or online at RileyFarmDental.com.
Got our SEC update when we return, and I want to talk about a former SEC quarterback, and I guess now current SEC quarterback in Athens, Jaden Rashada. The story, the reports, and your thoughts on this this lawsuit that was released yesterday. We'll touch on it next.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limburg Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimburgTeam.com.
Tommy Kraft for the Fitzman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fenceman, 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. He ain't afraid of no work.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30 for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Get 1.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on a GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Get 1.9% financing and $3,250 in purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle. See the new GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your number one golf shop for over 30 years.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub and Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
So the meat of this final segment today here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday is going to be on Jaden Rashada. We will touch on that coming up. We do know South Carolina is the opponent later on today. Probably 12:30 to 1 o'clock first pitch. You'll hear coverage live from Hoover with our buddy Phil Elsing beginning at 12 o'clock on most of these radio stations. South Carolina finished their season, regular season-wise, at 13-17, and they beat the Alabama Crimson Tide yesterday, 10-5, advance and move on. Now, here's the setup for tomorrow. If you win, you'll play the winner of Kentucky and LSU, and if you lose, you'll play the loser of Kentucky and LSU. LSU needed a big win yesterday. They dominated Georgia 9-1. I wouldn't say that's an LSU homer ballpark, but I feel like they typically play well in Hoover more often than not.
They take it seriously. Their fans show up. It's a bigger deal for LSU than I think a lot of other folks, and they've got a lot to play for still.
Yes,
I mean,
no question.
I think LSU entered the week not certain of making the postseason. I think they felt like they had a good chance to be in because last I looked, their record was still 30-something wins. They were above 500. Let me look here what it is as of yesterday, but they didn't have the record. 37-20 is their record. So I mean, Florida's got.
What are they, one win? Are they one win above 500?
Yeah, they're 28-27.
Yeah,
now.
Phil was said he was Phil joined us earlier live from Hoover and was telling us that the Florida play-by-play guy thinks they're in because they had the number one strength of schedule and they're still above 500, but it would also be like the lowest scheduling record ever to make the tournament, I think.
Ole Miss is out. I mean, they're 27-29 on the year, so you can, Auburn, Ole Miss, and Missouri are three that definitely won't be going, and Florida might be a fourth. So I think 10 is possible. Wouldn't surprise me at all for 10 to get in, including Vanderbilt, who won yesterday, to get their 36th win. They're 36-20.
And I think, if I remember correctly, Phil said 2015 was the last time that you were in the single elimination start of the conference tournament, which is Tuesday. So think about that. With the exception when you didn't make it in 2016, there was a fluke year. You just didn't have it. I think some injuries. I feel like James Teague has talked about this on halftime that derailed that season. You have started on Wednesday every year since 2017. So what that means is you've had a good enough record where you've started at that junction. We know that Arkansas has won 5 of the last 6 SEC West divisional titles. That applies for the conference tournament too. And on the subject of the conference tournament, Dave gave us some insight yesterday about, and I thought it was cool. He kind of paralleled his time in Lincoln and Nebraska to now in Fayetteville. And here's what he had to say about this conference tournament.
Obviously, the run we made in 21 when we won the tournament and got to bring home that pretty glass-looking trophy for the first time, because everybody said, I don't care about winning the conference tournament, because we always care. You just don't want to smoke your players. They don't want to wear them out. So that was a good run. There's a lot of good memories. There's some that have been quick trips here, and you're frustrated, but then when you're back home and you're getting ready to play in a regional, you're kind of going, hey, maybe we're lucky to get out of there. We can get our feet back underneath us and get strong for the weekend. So you never know how this thing's going to lead you.
Never know. And Arkansas could go 0-2 in barbecue against South Carolina, either Kentucky or LSU, or they could make a run to the championship game on Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. LSU again beat Georgia yesterday 9-1. Kentucky is their opponent later on. Vanderbilt beat Florida 6-3, and then Ole Miss lost to Mississippi State on a heartbreak walk-off last night. And I just don't feel bad. I resonate much more with Mississippi State baseball than I do with Ole Miss baseball.
That's a big win for Mississippi State. Beat your rival, number one, and I think that it obviously sealed because of their record, sealed Ole Miss's fate for the year. So I'm sure State relished that. So I think all 8 teams that are alive today are probably in the field. Georgia would be the 9th one, and then Alabama probably would be that 10th team that could get in.
You mentioned LSU. Their head coach, Jay Johnson, the defending national champion, he feels very strongly about them getting into the NCAA tournament.
There's no doubt we're one of the top 10 to 15 teams in college baseball. So that is not even debatable. If we lost today, you could start peeling it back and finding a reason and give the committee an excuse to not put us in. There's no excuse now. This is one of the best teams in the country.
I don't know if that's the correct way to feel. I know the SEC West, as difficult as it is, I mentioned this yesterday. Alabama is the only SEC West team in the last 6 years not to make the College World Series. Think about that. 3 teams, 3 straight winners. Auburn and Texas A&M have been in the Final 8, and then Arkansas, we know, has been in the Final 8 a couple times. There's only one team that hasn't actually been to Omaha, and Alabama doesn't exactly have baseball tradition. But Johnson, pretty emphatic, pretty strong. I think LSU, I don't know if I want to say 100% locked in, but definitely solidified their chances with that win yesterday. All right, last thing here in your SEC update, brought to you by Burn Pools and Spas. There's definitely some more meat on this bone, Tommy, that we can get into tomorrow, because I think this thing has a bunch of different twists and turns that it will take, not only in Gainesville, Florida, but also across the country. So Jaden Rashada is one of the more notable quarterbacks for what has happened to him off the field rather than on the field. He's currently at Georgia, started his recruitment in Miami. That's where he thought he was going, was offered a reported over $9 million, ended up flipping to Florida for a reported $11 million. Then they upped that to over 13 apparently, with a certain donor, I think an assistant coach, and then Billy Napier was involved. And this lawsuit that came out was filed in federal court yesterday that is basically saying Florida botched his NIL deal. He was owed nearly $14 million. And you made a point earlier, verbal agreements are binding. I don't know how they're going to be able to prove this.
Oral contracts are binding, but you got to be able to prove it. There had to be witnesses outside of the contested parties. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I mean, in the old days, there was never proof because you were doing something that was, at least by the NCAA rules, illegal. And, some would even say the laws of a state might even call paying a player to come to your school, having a bag man, illegal. Now we all know the circumstances have changed. These things are going to happen because you got players and their handlers, their family, their agents trying to pit one school versus another to up the ante. And I think coaches who really want a kid, and this was the number 31 overall player, according to ESPN.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't even number 1. It was
31 overall. I don't know where he was in the quarterback numbers, but that was just
pretty high.
31st best player. I'm going to guess top 5 in quarterbacks, maybe, somewhere in that range. Mm-hmm. Very good player. Anyone would love to sign. Coaches will say what they got to say to keep you in the game. I mean, you're hearing tales now of coaches or schools rather that quote unquote can't make payroll because coaches have promised and agreed to more NIL money collectively with all their roster than they have coming in. And then they have to go scrape up and raise, beg, borrow, and steal to find a way to fund all of that. So this is, I believe, just the first of several of these to come. This is why we need structure. This is what happens when you just open up the gates and let the horses run wild. Good luck getting them back into the corral. And that's exactly where we're at with all of this. And you know, we needed guardrails from the beginning, but we were in a hurry to pay these players. Not against that, but there's got to be structure in anything, and there's basically no structure.
I think that you tell me if I'm wrong about this. I think that structure you're advocating for, there wasn't time to implement it because there was a lawsuit. I mean,
but because what it was intended to be, which was you come to Arkansas, you come to Texas, pick a school, and now you have the legal right to go out to the car dealer, to the big box retailer, to the insurance company or whatever in that town, Austin, Fayetteville, Gainesville, doesn't matter. And you can now work out a deal to sign autographs there on a Saturday for 2 hours and make, $20,000 or whatever they're willing to pay. That was the intent of this. The intent was never to basically open yourself up for bid for what school you're going to. I was screaming from the beginning, this is what it was going to end up being, because the boosters were going to wink, hire you to do their ads. They're never going to do. I mean, how many athletes have we seen in ads? A few. Hagen Smith's in an ad right now for Pascal's that runs on our station. One of the better athlete ads that we have on the air right now, NIL type ads. But that's the exception, not the rule to how most of this goes. It's pure and simple, pay for play, and these are the message that schools are going to find themselves in, because the coach at the end of the day, all he's trying to do is figure out how to build the best roster.
Yeah, and as we close down this SEC update, I do think it's important, if this is true, if what they're alleging is true. I know that there's been more blame placed on players, but we got to start. I mean, coaches, because this is not going to be the only story. There is some accountability that needs to be placed on.
They feel strong enough they went to court on this. What would the resolution be?
Apparently seeking $10 million. So
I bet it never sees the light of day in a courtroom. Something undisclosed will happen. There will be an undisclosed settlement.
That'd be wild
to
see Billy Napier mid-football season during the week just in a courtroom with one of his former recruits. Unbelievable.
And now he's got to play this former recruit because he's gone to Georgia out of Arizona State in the portal.
He won't force Congress to get involved.
Unless Beck gets injured.
That'll help.
Unless Beck gets injured, he won't start or play for them. But yeah, it'd be pretty nuts.
SEC update brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Hey, dive into summer with the Doughboy Pool. They've got a super sale going on right now. Say goodbye to that neighborhood pool, that crowded public pool, that water park that you could never find your kids at because it's just too big, too large. The fun comes to you. Don't miss the hottest deals of the year. Doughboy above ground pools up to $1,500 off. That's an 18-foot steel wall pool. Right now, just $75 a month. Semi in-ground pools under $200 a month, and a free robotic cleaner that will help you keep it looking great and crystal clear. Hurry into Fort Smith, Springdale, or the New Greenland showroom to pick out your brand new pool today. Burton Pools and Spas. They do more than build pools. They build long-term relationships. Find out more online at burtonpools.com.
All right, Doc's in Omaha. Doc, you have 30 seconds here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Fire
Put him
quickly.
on the clock.
Fire away, guys. All right, What's Your Beef Wednesday ties into the what's your best summer activity growing up, which was Tommy said put his swimming trunks in his golf bag, hit the swimming pool, play his way out. Mine was put a fishing pole in my golf bag.
There you go.
Lucky enough to have a course where I grew up, could cast a line on a pond. All right, so what's your beef? You're teeing off on a tee box. You got a guy fishing out there. Is it a good thing, bad thing, best of both worlds? I'll hang up and listen.
I think it's cool. I think it just adds to the golf course experience, Doc. There's a much better chance of me hitting him than you hitting him, but I just think it adds to the ambiance of being out there on the golf course.
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna
safest place when you're hitting is on the green or in the fairway.
Yeah, that's true. All right, that's gonna do it for us. Back tomorrow for a Too Stupid Thursday.
It's a good day to be in Arkansas.